particular day, it was a 3-day weekend. When we came in, I unlocked the door myself, the mannequin in the corner.
Most people come to the Honolulu Police Museum expecting a history lesson, but some leave with something far more unsettling on their minds. Officer Eddie Kroon, one of the people instrumental in establishing the museum, described a persistent feeling of being watched throughout his time there. The site itself carries a dark past. 2 workers lost their lives in a devastating trolley accident on that very ground. Ever since, the place has never quite felt empty. Shadowy figures in the periphery, mannequins whose eyes seem to shift, arms repositioning on their own, and one mannequin discovered completely upside down without a single scratch on it. But here's the detail that really gets under your skin. Visitors standing near the World War II exhibit report feeling warm breath on the back of their necks despite nobody being behind them. Perhaps those souls never moved on. Perhaps they're still standing watch over the badge.
School. So while the kids are walking around the museum, they notice the mannequin's left hand.
The night of April 16, 2023, a New Jersey police officer was patrolling Clinton Road, already considered one of the most notoriously haunted highways in the entire country, when something materialized in the beam of his headlights. A vehicle moving just ahead of him, solid enough to follow but somehow off in the way it looked. He kept pace behind it, holding his distance. Then with no turn signal, no intersecting road, no break in the dense tree line, it simply ceased to exist. His dash cam recorded the bare, empty asphalt where that car had been only moments earlier. Clinton Road has been accumulating stories like this for generations. Ghost vehicles, disappearing silhouettes, shapes that emerge and vanish among the trees without explanation. That night, the footage backed up every single one of them. Our first clip comes from an Arkansas police dash cam back in 2005, and what it recorded is nothing short of terrifying, something catastrophic erupting completely without warning. As the officer gets a sense of just how enormous this blast really is, the sheer scale of it becomes gut-wrenching, especially when you think he's actually made it out safe. Absolutely insane, right? So here's what actually went down. 2 trains collided in a nearby rail yard, one of which was carrying propylene, a highly flammable compressed gas. That gas began leaking out and settled into a low-lying fog that crept across the ground. You can actually see it rolling in as the officer drives toward it. The drifting gas eventually seeped down into the basement of a neighboring house, where a furnace pilot light set the whole thing off, triggering a chain reaction of absolutely devastating proportions. If that officer hadn't thrown it in reverse when he did, he would have been swallowed whole by that fireball. And the blast was so powerful that 3,000 residents were driven out of their homes and into the streets in the middle of the night. This chilling video was recorded by Jake, a familiar face in the online world known for running the YouTube channel Jake Ghost Hunter. Over the course of more than 2 years, Jake has been guiding his audience through the darker side of the unknown, venturing into haunted locations, derelict structures, and digging up the eerie histories buried within them. But on this specific night, something unfolded that rattled not just Jake and his companion, but also the law enforcement officers who eventually became part of the story.
Tonight, the Liberty High School.
The evening started the way most of Jake's outings do, full of banter and easy laughter as he and his friend made their way toward a school with a reputation for paranormal activity. The mood was light, and neither of them had any idea how the night would turn out. Once they pulled up, they sat outside and did some reading on the building's past. The history behind the alleged haunting was deeply unsettling, but having come all this way, they weren't turning back, their hearts hammering as they prepared to head inside.
Terrifying, man. Let's go to the Liberty School. The 3rd floor, dude. Where shadow figures are extremely common. If there's anybody here, any spirits, children, teachers, principals, janitors.
The second they crossed the threshold, an overwhelming sense of dread hit them like a wall. It felt as though something or someone had already taken notice of their arrival.
Feel free to make any kind of noises you want. Hello? Holy well. Someone just got thrown, dog. Can you walk towards us? Where, dude?
Bird.
What the hell was that?
It's a bat, I think.
It is a bat. Oh.
Oh no, this isn't good.
No, that's not good.
This isn't good. Okay. Oh crap.
Hey, bat.
Hello.
Hey, mister. It's right there, you see it? Mr. Bat? Mr. Bird? Okay, it's
Oh,
a dove.
it's a dove. Pigeon.
It's a pigeon. We got him. Hey, buddy.
They tried to brush it off at first, chalking the feeling up to a startled pigeon. But somewhere beneath the jokes, they both sensed this was just getting started.
Whoa.
It's such an eerie feeling. I don't like it.
I don't either.
Do I keep walking, dude?
Yeah, let's just keep walking.
Okay.
What?
I hope that was a bat clear down there, but I 100% saw a black ball just go across the middle of that hallway. Yes, dude.
We should go check it out.
Anyone down here with us? We're here to communicate.
Moving further through the poorly lit corridors with their nerves stretched thin, the atmosphere around them seemed to press in closer. Something was drawing near, something neither of them could put into words.
What is that? What is that? It's a ring. Shh, careful. Dude.
That was boom, 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 boom. That was running. That was running.
Dude. Frozen anything. Sounds in the running.
How do you explain like 10 running footsteps?
No. Since we're getting a ton of weird things right here, let's just set up in the middle and put gear all around us and see what happens. Alright, so now we're sitting on the 3rd floor hallway. The REM pod just went nuts, so now it's time to see exactly what is up here with us right now. Can you go like that, bro? Again?
Yeah, let me take my bag off.
3, 2, 1. Dude, it's a different vibe.
Yeah, it's horrible.
So guys, look at Noah's camera. That is what we're seeing right now. Can you touch that REM pod again, that red light?
Touch one of our pieces of equipment.
Oh. Dude! Bro, what the hell was
I
that?
just saw a ball of light right in front of me.
No way.
Yeah, it was like, it looked like a freaking like a plasma.
Dude, what was that bang?
I don't know, that was loud. I just heard a kid go, hey.
Yeah, it was like... Oh my
God!
Back away if we heard your voice! Was that someone else? Can you touch that again? Dude, right when you heard the kid's voice, what is happening, man?
I don't know. But that was a clear voice.
Yeah, it was like, hey! It was like a, hey! I heard like weird. And then the freaking REM pod...
Deciding they'd seen enough of that particular wing, they moved to push on toward another part of the building. But they didn't make it far before a sound stopped them dead in their tracks. A sound that turned their blood cold.
You hold these, I'll put it up there.
I'll put this up here.
So guys, we are going to... Has this been on?
What was that?
What the actual fuck was that? Right, we're in this inbox, dude. Oh my god. Hello?
Oh my God.
Right when we're about to go alone, The story about the desk. And guess where all the desks are in the school? They're backstage in that room, dude. All the chairs.
Yeah.
Oh. What's the grandpa doing right now? Who just made that sound? I'm shaking so bad. What if that was the front door being pushed open because of the stick? Should we go check real quick before we do this? Dude, okay, let's go.
The dread surged instantly. Was there another person in there with them? A squatter? Or something far worse? They retreated downstairs to steady themselves and strain their ears for any sign of movement, but the quiet was almost worse than the noise. In a bid to regain control of the situation, they made the bold call to separate. That decision is where everything unraveled.
Jake! Oh my God, Jake! Was that inside? Yeah. Shh. Get down here now. Now get down here, dude. No, you come with me, bro. That was on my level. Call the cops on my phone now. Call the cops. Call the fucking cops. Call the fucking cops. Just get down. Turn the lights off. That was gunshots. That was gunshots. Just sit down. Turn the light off. Where's it on? I'm at the old Liberty High School. There's shots fired. Please come here quick.
Okay, stay on the line, babe. Are you guys in a safe spot right now, fighting?
Kind of, but not really.
Okay. And what can you necessarily hear?
I just hear them. I heard them mess with the door.
Did you see anything?
No, we just heard the gunshots right outside, and I ran up here, and then we hear them entering. Or it sounds like it.
Okay. Where does it sound like the shots came from?
Outside by on the north side. Yeah, we hear those. Okay, sounds good. I'm gonna put you in the pocket real quick. Okay. Put your hands up. Pull a stick out. Thank you all. Yep. We go over here.
You guys armed at all?
No, we have nothing.
Are you the caller?
Badly shaken, the two later sat down and described what they had gone through. When officers heard the account, they acted without hesitation, entering the abandoned school themselves under the assumption that an armed individual might be lurking inside. What they found, however, was nothing like what they were prepared for.
Make yourself known. Are you serious?
For real.
Yeah. Like, what do you mean?
What?
Let me just.
For real.
So right there on the second floor,
Yes.
we were looking this way. I heard pitter patter, like that, along that. What would that be? The east wall. Yeah. And then he hears it at the end of the hallway, and as I'm taking my light down, I see something go, like dark across.
Are you guys dead ass?
Swear.
You have
And then
body
we were
cam?
like, no. But we were talking about you
Dude.
guys. We were like, let's just black out for a second. So we went completely black in there, and all of a sudden we heard movement behind us, and we.
Shortly after going in, the officers came tearing back out, visibly distressed, their complexions drained of color. They maintained that the building was completely vacant. But if that was true, what had driven them out in such a state? Whatever those men encountered left a mark that went far beyond the ghost hunters themselves, reaching all the way to seasoned officers who had never had any reason to entertain the idea of the paranormal until that night. The question that lingers is whether any of them came face to face with something that simply cannot be explained. That's for you to decide. Sadly, we may never know for certain. A Saudi Arabian police officer working the graveyard shift came face to face with something so deeply disturbing that it would haunt him for the remainder of his days. As he made his rounds, he spotted a figure dressed in white, its dark hair hanging loosely, swaying with every unsettling stride. The shape appeared human, yet something about it felt profoundly wrong. Some who heard the story later insisted it was a witch, while others murmured that it might have been a skinwalker. Whatever the truth, this was no creature that belonged among the living. The figure advanced toward the officer with unmistakable purpose, sending him into a full-blown panic as he turned and bolted. And yet, no matter how fast he ran, the figure kept coming, its pace steady and unyielding, closing in without hesitation. This clip was recorded simultaneously on a police dash cam and an officer's body camera. Units were called out after witnesses phoned in reports of a brutal attack in progress. But what made the situation truly strange was the nature of the call itself. Someone was apparently eating another human being alive. The caller described it as a zombie attack, and the responding officer assumed it had to be someone messing around. He headed over anyway, figuring he'd sort it out quickly. What greeted him when he stepped out of his vehicle, though, stopped him cold. A man mounted on top of another person, using his teeth to tear into the victim's flesh.
Hey, let me see your hands! 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 Hey! 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 Hey!
Was this some form of cannibalism, a violent episode triggered by drugs? Or had this person simply lost all grip on reality? How do you even begin to process something like that? Could there actually be something to the zombie phenomenon? The officer drew his firearm and discharged warning shots, ordering the man to put his hands up. The attacker didn't even acknowledge him. He just kept going. Additional shots rang out, but the man showed absolutely no reaction. He remained completely fixated, as if nothing else in the world existed. It took a fourth shot before the officer was finally able to stop him. Following the incident, authorities went silent. No further information was ever made public, and some believe the whole case was quietly buried. Knowing that this actually occurred makes it all the more unsettling. Was this a genuine zombie encounter? Renter had gone unseen for more than a week, prompting officers to show up for what should have been a straightforward welfare check. As they approached, Diana, the sister of the property owner, pulled out her phone and started filming. The lights inside the trailer had been burning for days, so nobody was particularly alarmed, at least not yet.
Wait, they're going up to Tom's place. So wait.
Officers eventually entered and confirmed the worst. The tenant had died. The following day, while going back through the footage, Diana spotted something that stopped her cold. A small, childlike silhouette, standing motionless before disappearing, without a trace. Neither she nor her brother had any explanation. That is, until they went through the trailer and discovered that the tenant had lost a daughter several years prior.
Wait a minute, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Oh, Jesus. Wait,
Piecing it all together, every unsettling detail pointed to the same conclusion. This was the tenant's little girl, coming to be by her father's side one final time. Officers with the THRLL Police Department were called out after several dogs were spotted running loose and alarming residents in a local neighborhood.
From me!
Once on scene, they went house to house, trying to piece together what was going on. Witnesses reported that the animals lunged at the officers multiple times throughout the search, behaving far more aggressively than anyone expected. As the team made their way through the streets, the dogs kept turning up again and again, each time growing more hostile, keeping the tension at a dangerous level.
From me!
Despite how serious things got, the officers managed to handle the situation without using deadly force. Through a coordinated effort to lock down the area, they were ultimately able to bring everything.
Well, there was a woman down here or somebody, and she was...
Two off-duty police officers were out on a relaxed late-night drive with their camera rolling when something totally unforeseen entered the shot. Without any warning, a figure emerged from the darkness and sprinted straight toward their vehicle at a speed no ordinary person could ever achieve. The recording clearly captured the entity rapidly closing the gap between itself and the moving car, its motion bearing no resemblance to anything a human being would naturally produce. The officers had no interest in sticking around to investigate. They were shaken to the core on the spot, immediately altered their course, and put as much ground between themselves and that thing as they possibly could. Surveillance footage was rolling as part of an active police investigation. A man had been acting aggressively inside a building, making threats. Then out of nowhere, he vanished. The way he got out defies any rational explanation.
Mujeres solas también en general son como las más preocupadas. Entonces, ahora el problema que tenemos es que no sabemos qué pasó con él. No sabemos si va a volver, porque efectivamente sí se lo llevaron, pero no tenemos la familia no nos ha ayudado con la respuesta de saber qué pasó con él.
He sprints directly toward a solid wall, not a door, not an opening, just a wall. You can actually hear the people nearby reacting afterward, completely baffled. They're talking over each other, trying to make sense of it, because nobody can really account for what just happened to him. He clearly went somewhere. That part isn't in question. But how? Nobody has a clue. Even his own family hasn't come forward with anything useful. Now, there are two things in particular you need to pay attention to here. This isn't just a case of someone vanishing off screen. He physically passed through that wall. He charges straight at it. There's a slight bounce, and then he's gone, right through it. It plays out like a scene from a science fiction film. And before anyone jumps to the glitch theory, keep in mind this guy was physically grabbing and interacting with people just moments before this happened. He was very much real and very much there. So what do you make of it? Did we just catch something on camera that we were never meant to witness? A late-night security officer believed he was greeting a regular he recognized, even addressing her by name, Ms. Abigail.
Abigail.
What he had no idea about was that she had died 2 years prior. The entire encounter was captured on footage. You could clearly see the guard holding a conversation with someone, yet the camera revealed nothing but empty space. When the dispatcher radioed in asking who he was speaking to, the guard pieced it together and completely lost his nerve, bolting from the scene. So what exactly did he encounter that night? Maybe Miss Abigail never really moved on from that
Building.
Miss Abigail is...
September 14th, 2003, a hotel in Illinois, known for its distinctive winged architecture, captured what staff are calling paranormal activity on its surveillance system. The security manager at the property handed the footage over to the Illinois Police Department.
It should be 209.
John, do you copy? It's room 209. Amy says nobody's checked into that room, and there's reports of screaming coming from that room. Amy, he's on his way down there right now. What's going on, John? There's no one checked into that room. There should be nobody in there. Wait 1 second, John. Amy, are you there? Yeah, John says he hears the screaming coming from that room. And I hear it too. But we're sure that no one's checked into that room, correct? John, just wait.
some point, that same security manager made the decision to personally check out the room, completely unaware of what was waiting for him on the other side of the door. According to everyone on staff, not a single guest had been checked into that room, and yet...
I would wait for the police, John. Amy, John's gonna enter the room real quick, just to check, make sure, see what's going on. Wait one.
What he found inside was chaos. The room had been completely ransacked, and the carpet bore deep scratches that, by all accounts, no human hand could have made. And it seems he may not have been alone in that hallway, because as the security officer stepped through the doorway, a pale, ghostly figure can be seen slipping out of the room. Witnesses who reviewed the footage couldn't even agree on what they were seeing. Some insist there was only one shadowy presence, while others are convinced there were multiple figures moving through the frame. The hotel manager later revealed that guests had been flooding the front desk with complaints about terrifying screams echoing from the second floor, specifically from room 209. Early on, investigators found no documented history tied to that particular room. But digging deeper uncovered something far more unsettling, a long trail of reports filed over the years, all describing the same disturbing sounds coming from that exact location. And this footage is the only record that remains. 2 police officers received a dispatch to investigate a cemetery and headed out to handle it. What unfolded from there was a stark reminder that even the bravest among us are only human. The moment they climbed out of their cruiser and started making their way off the road and into the graveyard, everything changed. A sharp, blood-curdling shriek tore through the darkness, catching them both completely off guard. They had absolutely no interest in sticking around to figure out the source of that sound. They bolted. Back in 2021, a police officer on a late-night patrol through a quiet rural area suddenly picked up on something unsettling, an eerie shrieking and wailing sound cutting through the darkness. He immediately grabbed his phone and hit record. He moved toward the noise cautiously, but the closer he got, the louder it grew. When he finally approached the tree line, what he encountered left him completely speechless. Sweeping his flashlight into the shadows, he caught sight of 2 glowing eyes locked directly onto him. The instant it realized it had been spotted, it bolted into the woods and was never seen again. Whatever this officer captured on camera that night, it was no ordinary animal, and it knew full well it was being. This next clip comes from a live broadcast that was streaming an active operation after someone had been discovered deceased in a wooded area. It was around 2 in the morning, with both police and EMS already on the ground. Despite the heavy darkness swallowing most of the scene, the camera managed to pick up something that's genuinely hard to shake. The reporter on scene describes how a body was found hanging from a tree, suspended by a rope. A devastating and somber situation. Firefighters and officers were already working the scene by the time the feed went live. And then something unexpected shows up.
Suspendido por esa área, por el área donde usted visualiza algunas personas ahí en esa pequeña área boscosa. Pues lamentablemente pues es así como pues esta persona pierde la vida por suspensión. En otras palabras, pues él toma la fatal decisión de ahorcarse con un lazo y pues quedar suspendido en el aire, pues en horas de la madrugada.
Moving among the emergency crews is a pale figure seemingly draped in a white cloth or veil of some kind, drifting slowly through the tree line toward the responders. It appears completely unaware of everyone around it, almost like it's just passing through on its own. Initially, people watching in the chat wrote it off as a camera glitch, a lens flare, or possibly just another person at the scene. But after going back through the footage multiple times, viewers became convinced the figure doesn't match any of the officials or crew members present. And that's not even the strangest part. The broadcaster later shared a photograph taken shortly after, revealing that the body had been covered with a blanket that looked almost exactly like what that mysterious figure appeared to be wearing. A coincidence? Or is it possible that the spirit of the person who passed, still confused and unaware, was wandering the very spot where they were found, drawn to the last thing draped over them? Whatever you believe, this footage leaves far more unanswered than resolved.
Suspendido por esa área, por el área donde usted visualiza algunas personas ahí en esa pequeña área boscosa. Pues lamentablemente pues es así como pues esta persona pierde la vida por suspensión. En otras palabras, pues él toma la fatal decisión de ahorcarse con un lazo y pues quedar suspendido en el aire, pues en horas de la madrugada.
Did they actually record something from beyond, or is there a logical explanation that none of us have landed on yet? Drop your thoughts below. In the pre-dawn hours of August 13, 2018, in the sleepy town of Frederick, Colorado, oil worker Christopher Lee Watts murdered his pregnant wife Shanann along with their two little girls, Bella and Celeste. In the days that followed, Watts kept up his facade of innocence while the search for his missing family grew more desperate. But for those who believe the dead don't always move on, the answer seems clear. If any spirit were going to remain tethered to a place, it would be Shanann's. The following footage was captured the day after the killings. At this point, Chris had yet to confess to anything, but what the responding officers encountered inside that house was enough to send a chill straight through them.
Hey Chris, so we need to have everybody step out of the house.
Because we don't want the dog to get confused with all the stuff
Correct.
going on.
So you can leave that there. You can leave your camera there.
I'll break it up.
Okay,
Yeah,
we just.
I don't want to mess you guys up at all. Because my sin has,
Dispatch level 9 to 2. Is she just getting done up front? Show me in service, please.
What's that? Oh, the dog, Peter. He's in the back.
He's in the back.
Step down.
Yeah, just in the driveway is totally fine. Mm-hmm. What's that?
I said, learn about the beads.
Yeah. And imagine an adult doing that. Yeah. Because because the carpet's otherwise been vacuumed. I mean, it's the vacuum marks. Very, very well kept house. These beads, those be of interest to him at all as far as the kiddos go?
At first glance, the home seemed perfectly normal, still, undisturbed, but that sense of calm wouldn't last. As the officers made their way through each room, a creeping discomfort began to take hold. Something felt deeply off. The walls themselves seemed to be watching, and then it happened. Something none of those present could account for. A moment so jarring, so completely out of nowhere, that it shifted the entire atmosphere of the investigation.
That doesn't necessarily mean, it could mean a high intense fight. So it could mean several things because the body chemistry changes.
Sure.
On all that.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. A lot of these are motion activated. These are the shoes that she took the scent off of.
Okay. That's you. So there's plenty of her fingers here.
Yes.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. What in the world is that? Wow. Go in there and step on that little blue thing and see if that's where that noise came from.
Yeah, it sounded like a kid toy.
It might. It sort of sounds like it.
Something. There was a. I heard it.
Did you hear it?
I did.
Sounded like a kid.
That right there was the sound of a giggle. Most people would dismiss it instantly. Background interference, a random noise, a coincidence. But consider this. Bella and Celeste were only 4 and 3 years old at the time, and that sound bears an unmistakable resemblance to the laughter of a small child. The officers were standing just outside Shanann's closet when it rang out.
Just go straight in there. Well, we'll make a note of that.
I heard it. I definitely heard the same thing you did.
Yeah, and then he just sort of turned around and looked. I just was she on any one that she was pregnant? I was gonna say, you know about use in the house or pot?
Not that we know of. That or upstairs.
Oh, there's an upstairs.
There's an upstairs, yep. All the bedrooms are upstairs.
Well, let's do that.
We go up first?
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's the upstairs?
To the right?
Oh, I see it.
Okay.
Except this place has been so infinitely clean recently. That's kind of interesting to me. That's the way it is. Can you see any kind of dust or anything on that shelf? Or somebody might. There's no nothing handed down. Doesn't look like anything.
No.
Okay. That's what we needed to know, though.
No, it has not been disrupted.
One of them calls out that he's in the laundry room. As the walkthrough pressed on, one of the family's dogs erupted into relentless barking, with absolutely nothing visible to explain it. The animal was clearly reacting to something beyond human perception, something that couldn't be seen, yet made its presence impossible to ignore.
What's that? Yep. Got a book under there. And a rock. Hello.
That book. Nothing. No storage or nothing. Now see, this is a bed though, so sand will go down. You think somebody's sleeping in
Oh,
there.
that was my glasses.
Now, did you get everything?
Yeah, do you want me to pull the book out? It's literally right here.
Oh.
That's it?
Consent.
Uh-huh.
That's what he was showing me.
Okay, that's what it is. I'm gonna step back in the laundry room for a second.
Okay.
Okay. All right.
See that fan?
Then the recording picked up something else entirely. Another whisper, barely there, hovering right at the edge of audibility, but undeniably caught on tape. It sounded as though a voice was saying, "This is our home." Faint as it was, those words landed like a weight on everyone who heard them.
Let's turn that fan off.
Could that have been Shanann herself, the woman who devoted so much of her heart to building a life within those walls, only to have everything taken from her inside them?
A trauma scene
Okay.
is what
That's what he does.
I'm looking at. More of that.
Okay. That's the other track team. Okay. So this dog's looking more for trauma or heated areas. Those dogs are going to track the scent. So we may be able, yeah, if they're still out there. Have they started yet?
No.
Yeah. They what? 99. Who was it?
Just to be advised, I have an update in your call. RP has possible information for you. Wants contact by phone to reference the call.
Copy advised. They're watching that back to PD anyway.
Yeah, so
Yeah, that's.
They were a lot. You can't remember exactly.
There were multiple in there. That's why. Okay, that's why we asked. Okay. All right, where are we heading?
That single moment left the room shaken, but it wasn't the only unsettling thing the Watts house had to offer. Let's go back to footage pulled from a police body camera, recorded just hours after Shanann and the girls were first reported missing.
So if you take for a quick trip.
Her phone's here? Her phone's here.
Does she work?
Yeah, she works from home.
Oh, from home?
She works this is her lifeline. Yeah, nothing comes back. I'm just gonna start blowing up. Oh yeah. Trust me.
It was shut down?
Yeah. 131, 80, 19.
What does she do for work?
Chris was still performing the role of the distraught, worried husband. An officer moved through the home at an easy pace, sweeping his gaze across each room. Everything appeared still, almost suspiciously so. Then, as the camera passed over one of the children's bedrooms, something shifted. If you direct your attention to the left side of the frame near the doorway, a small dark shape drifts across the room. Nobody present caught it in the moment, but a sharp-eyed viewer watching the documentary The Family Next Door later flagged it. The video is authentic, the movement is real, and it was only the beginning, because following that moment, officers continued to capture strange occurrences on their equipment. Whispers, childlike laughter, shadowy figures, doors swinging open with no one near them. Whether you believe in the paranormal or not, the energy radiating from inside that home was impossible to deny. On August 15th, just one day after this search concluded, Chris Watts sat down with detectives and admitted to killing his wife. He would later confess to the deaths of his daughters as well. On November 6, 2018, Watts entered guilty pleas for all the murders and received 5 consecutive life sentences with no chance of ever being released. This case remains among the most haunting and deeply disturbing in recent memory. This dashcam clip was captured by a police cruiser making its rounds through a Chicago suburb on May 10, 2018. Sergeant Anthony Menino suddenly found himself in an incredibly high-stakes situation. The footage shows him stepping directly into the path of oncoming traffic, moving at dangerous speeds to shield a 2-year-old child. Before he even pulled up, that toddler had been drifting across multiple lanes, dangerously exposed to large trucks and fast-moving vehicles. Initially, Menino thought he was spotting a stray dog out on the road, but as he closed the distance, he realized it was a small child just a few feet from a major highway. There was no second guessing. He moved fast and pulled the boy to safety. Moments like this one bring up a deeply unsettling question. Where exactly were this child's parents? Fortunately, the boy's mother showed up just minutes after the rescue. Investigators later determined that the family's home was only 2 blocks from the spot where the officer had found him wandering alone. A woman was reportedly causing a disturbance in a public space, prompting police to respond to the scene. What they encountered when they got there was far from ordinary. She was shrieking uncontrollably, almost as though some unseen force had taken over her body. Onlookers watched in disbelief, with many drawing comparisons to something out of a horror film. Officers were ultimately able to subdue her by deploying a taser. The incident was brought to a close relatively quickly, though everyone who witnessed it was left completely shaken by the experience. On September 22, 2018, a security guard named Jay Brown was pulling a night shift at a Chicago nursing home when he reportedly spotted a strange figure drifting near the front desk. By his own account, a pale, shadow-like form seemed to glide down the hallway, instantly drawing his eye.
Get attention.
Look how I saw that shit. I saw it.
Initially, incidents like this tend to get chalked up to odd lighting, reflections, or glitches in the camera feed. But this officer insisted he witnessed it with his own eyes, rather than through a screen. The facility's CCTV system also picked up a faint, shifting shape in that same area, deepening the mystery and setting off a wave of debate over what could explain the
visual appearance.
And I'm like, and then it disappeared.
Authorities in India were dispatched to a public park in the middle of the night after a local resident called in a report about a ghost spotted using the outdoor fitness equipment. When they got there, the officers saw it with their own eyes. One of the machines was running by itself, moving rhythmically back and forth at a consistent pace, as though some unseen figure was in the middle of a workout. Not a single person was anywhere close to it. What pushed things into truly bizarre territory was that a strikingly similar incident emerged not long after from the United States, where 2 people out on a nighttime stroll came across the exact same phenomenon. Another piece of gym equipment operating on its own with no one using it. To this day, neither event has ever been given an official explanation.